This is a board I won about 15 years ago at the Santa Cruz Longboard Union Memorial Contest on Memorial Weekend. And it's a 9.6 Johnny Rice. I was lucky to be the first one to win the boards because I got my pick of all the boards and all the famous legend board makers that gave their boards for the contest. And I picked Johnny's board. It's a V-wedge stringer with a color of man in the board, black, red, yellow, and white. And it has a lot of spirit in it. It's never been ridden. And we're doing this today in honor of Johnny. He goes upon the water, Johnny Rice.
And said, you know who moved back in town? Johnny Rice, legendary shaper. So we went to his house. He had just quit working for the Merchant Marines. He had lived in Brazil. And the guy was just bigger in life, you know, street fighting, barroom brawling, totally cool guy, and amazing shaper. And, you know, from then till now, he probably made me 6, 8 boards. All of my favorite boards have always been Johnny's. I always go back to him when the waves are good. I'm on those things, they're magic. So, great guy, love him.
And he was around for our daughter. Ely was born in '85, and she grew up with Johnny in the neighborhood. And she'd be just enthralled, just watching Johnny. And so she took it upon herself to remember all the tattoos he had. So one day we were giving her a bath, and we noticed there's tattoos on her arm. And we said, "E, what's with these tattoos?" Which he had drawn, you know, the same tattoos that he had on his arm, she put on her arm. So she was concerned about his smoking. So when she entered kindergarten, they said, you know, that, you know, you don't smoke, it's not good for your health. So she went up to him and said, "Johnny, you need to stop smoking." I mean, this is a little kid, you know, talking to Johnny. And he goes, "Yeah, I know, I've been trying to quit." And she goes, "You know, for your health, you need to quit." Well, he said to her several years later, "You were one of the major reasons why I quit smoking." So he's been in our life. Didn't he make her first board?
He shaped her first board, and she watched him shape it, which was amazing. I think she was, how old was she? I don't know.
12,
maybe 12.
13, yeah.
And, you know, Johnny, again, classic shaper just in terms of, you know, always, you tell them what you want, and then they make whatever the heck they want, but anything he made always worked. And, you know, the other thing that for us was special with Johnny is he was fluent in Spanish, fluent in Portuguese, and, you know, I'm part Mexican, Guatemalan, so that ability to be able to speak Spanish with him and hang out with him a little bit in that context was great. Always fun. And thanks for doing this, Mike.
Yeah.
He'll be missed.
Spike, friend of Johnny Rice. It was around the year 2000. He had some type of medical issue, and we were surfing Indicator, and he paddled up to me and he said, "Hey, Spike, I just had this stuff done. I'm feeling kind of weak. Would you mind keeping an eye on me?" To me, that was a huge honor. And I stuck close by, and it wasn't like a small day. It was like overhead and coming through at Indicator. And we shared some waves. I kept an eye on him, and yeah, that's my Johnny Rice story. Got lots of great boards from him. Always got the best vibe from him, and aloha, Johnny.
I'm Nancy Chin. I was one of the Johnny Rice team riders, and this is a board that Johnny made for himself. I think maybe in the early 90s. And then when he moved on to a slightly different plan, he gave me this board, and so I've ridden it to this day.
I bought $100 worth of raffle tickets, and I felt like I was going to win, and I picked my board ahead of time.
How long ago was this?
15 years ago.
At the Longboard Club Invitational.
Yeah.
She comes up to me and she goes, "Well, which board should I get?" I go, "Well, you got to get the Johnny." Hers was the first one. She looks at me, and now everyone wants me to touch their tickets.
No, but what?
That little mini Viking ship at Barney's Paddle.
reminded me of Johnny being out at Pleasure Point with the lineup, and he sees a wave coming and he sees a girl and he tells that girl, "You go right now." And boy, when Johnny tells you to go on that wave, you better go.
Well,
He'd tell the girls to go when it was their wave. He would say, "You go now."